I am joined by the new head varsity football coach at Watertown High School, Joey Carroll. Joey, congratulations and thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Let's talk about you and talk about football. So you are from Waltham and work in Waltham. Tell us a little bit and tell them about yourself.
Yeah, born and raised right across those lines. It's funny because, growing up in Pop Warner, Watertown was always our biggest rival.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of funny.
And how'd you do?
It was always a battle. It was
Okay.
always a battle. Two great towns and always competing. So that was always fun. But born and raised there. Coached at Waltham for the last 5 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Was able to get the opportunity to, become the head coach of Watertown. I was able to take that and, I was super excited for the opportunity.
So you're replacing Coach Kakachi, who was a coach here for probably close to 20 years. And among the many things that were a challenge for him and anyone who works in this program, and he did a wonderful job with it, is the numbers. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the first things probably on your list of things to do is to get the student body passionate about football, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think our two biggest recruiting tools, and I told Mr. Murphy about this, is, sustaining players, whether it's from the youth program, and making sure that our connections with the youth program is super strong, getting super engaged with them, and then also our relationships with parents. I think keeping, making sure they're allies and not obstacles, and making sure parents, feel like they're a part of our program as well. Keeping sustainability with our program, and keeping those numbers up. Getting after it with the youth program, I really do believe could help us gain some numbers. Getting into those freshman year, and then just school spirit. I mean, we're going to do a good job on social media and make sure those, the high school kids are reposting and seeing those stuffs on social media and Instagram and whatnot. So we kind of already started doing that. But other than that, I mean, also is just playing well.
Yeah.
Playing well.
So we're going to jump around and talk about a bunch of different things. So you touched on the fact of school spirit. Now a challenge for you is going to be you still work at Waltham High School, and you will continue to work at Waltham High School in the next school year. So you won't be here on campus, and that doesn't mean that you can't do a great job, but tell me how you plan on combating that particular issue.
Well, the good thing is Waltham gets out at 2 o'clock. Watertown gets out at 3:05. So having that kind of buffer period of an hour gives me time to get up here, get the field ready, we're going to have study hall after school. So making sure that kids are there doing study hall, do what they need to do. I think having that time is definitely going to help, but also having, a couple guys in the building that could help out and make sure they have an eye on, the players. But we're also doing kind of an off-season program called the Raider Games. Right. Just keeping accountability at an all-time high at this level.
And is this something that you guys did in Waltham?
We did a variation of it.
Okay.
But...
and tell me basically, what is the concept of our Raider Games about?
Camaraderie.
Being a healthy student and a healthy athlete? Is it about conditioning? Is it about learning more about football, or is it all the above?
It's all the above. The first thing that we preach to the kids is we need great people. Great people is our first priority, and making sure that they're great students, great athletes, and great football players. So we got to do everything that we can in order to be great football players. So that is academics. We're going to have bi-weekly progress reports in the off-season, making sure that guys are on track to sports. And, we have a lot of multi-sport athletes, and it's very helpful, for them to play that sport and make sure they're accountable for that sport, but also for football. Also, making sure that their school spirit and they're showing out for, if it's a different club or a different sport and they're attending that event, maybe they can get points by that. We call these Raider points. So towards the end of the off season, we make sure to see who's at the highest, right? There might be some incentives for guys that are higher on those, but also we can call them commitment points as well. How committed are you to be the best version of yourself?
Yeah.
So,
and you've introduced all this to the kids?
We did. We're actually having our first virtual meeting this Saturday to go a little bit more over it.
Yeah. Because the initial reaction?
Initial reaction was excitement.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, initial reaction was excitement. I think a little bit of fear as well, being like, oh no, we're going to check progress reports every couple of weeks. But again, I told them we're going to keep each other accountable. I'm going to keep myself accountable. We got to make sure that the bar is set at an all-time high in this program. That's what our culture is. Culture is we over me. It's not about just me. It's making sure that I do my part for others. And I think that's what Raider Game is all about, making sure that we can kind of build that camaraderie and accountability throughout the offseason.
Yeah. So you've been playing football all your life, right?
Yep.
Coaching since, and you played at Pop Warner, you played at the high school, you played at UNH.
Yep.
So one of the things that everyone loves about football and what makes football so popular now, it's the ultimate team sport, right? Everyone has to rely on one another, and you've just expressed that very well. But some of the challenges for a small school, a small community, and a community that doesn't necessarily have the natural skill set, is how to get the most out of them, in a safe way, get the most out of them in a spirit way, in a way that takes advantage of what you do have. So what are some of your plans around that?
Yeah. Again, making sure that the we over me culture, got to make sure we're all we got. You know, this town ain't getting any bigger and the school's not getting any bigger. We got to make do with what we have. And I truly believe, and I told them our first meeting, the guys that were in that room, that's all we need. And we can develop you guys as players. We don't need extra bodies for a better team. Obviously, we talked about recruitment and making sure that we do get more participation, but making sure that we make a priority of, you know, being a great person first. I think that's huge as far as, you know, not only the student athletes, but also coaches too. We want great coaches that are great people, great teachers. And if we can, you know, do the little things off the field and on the field, you know, habits, making sure they have great habits. I think it's going to have a trickle effect on the field. And then develop them as athletes. Like, I'm really, you know, supportive on multi-sport athletes. Played basketball and track also in high school. So making sure that guys are super involved with, you know, the winter and the spring, and cheering each other on, whether, you know, this player is swimming in the winter and this guy's playing lacrosse, and making sure that they feel the love from their teammates and you know, in every season. And I think bringing Watertown together as a whole, that high school, making sure that every sport feels like we got each other's back, that's going to be huge for just the student body in whole.
Right. So you've worked on both sides of the ball. We talked a little bit off air about how you've worked both sides of the ball. You have a good understanding of both. Tell me a little bit, or tell the people at home a little bit more about how you plan on setting up your coaching staff, what your role is going to be on game day, all those kinds of things.
Yeah. So super fortunate to get the opportunity to not only offense and defense, but special teams. I was able to be a coordinator for all three of these phases in my time at Waltham. Most recently, offensive coordinator for the past 2 seasons. And I would say I feel more comfortable in offense, but that's the reason why I wanted to be defense coordinator. We talked about it off air. That has helped me as offense coordinator. It's helped me just as a better coach, making sure that, you know, I was a wide receiver in college and high school and D-back, and not knowing much about the interior, you know, having some great coaches around me the last couple of years, and making sure that I can kind of hone in the box and making sure I know what I need to do, or what the players need to do in the box, was huge. Defensively, I feel comfortable now to make sure that I know everyone's assignment and alignment. Right. And as far as staff, you know, we're still in the process of figuring out, you know, who we're going to have on staff this season. But me and Murph are, you know, committed to making sure we have the best staff possible. Whether that's some guys that are, you know, in the building, to making sure that we have some guys in there, but also some other guys that I might have either coached with or, you know, just crossed paths before. Ideally, would love 2 coordinators, and me just being the head coach, because there's a lot that goes into that administratively, you know, with parents and, you know, overseeing the culture of the whole program. I want to make sure that that's my number one priority. And then just letting those guys coach, letting those guys, not micromanaging, making sure that, you know, the offense and the offensive coaches can deal with it. And I, you know, oversee it and make sure I have the final say, but I know that I trust them. Same with the defense. Our defense coordinator, make sure that he has the staff to help him game plan and make sure it's not just on them. Because at the high school level, we coach a lot of hours. So, you know, you can get burnt out real quick.
Right.
So making sure that you have a support staff around you, helping you do the game planning each week goes a long way.
Did you expect to be a head coach sooner than now, or is this just about right for you?
This is just about right. I actually I put my name 3 years ago for Waltham. I'm actually very fortunate I didn't get it. I think I became a lot better of a coach, for that. But I did feel like my time was come. I've been the associate head coach at Waltham for the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And my role on that staff got a little bit higher and higher and higher, and my workload kind of increased. And it, kudos to Sean Brackett for giving me those roles and that opportunity to kind of expand my horizons, especially on the defensive side or offense side, and I feel ready for it. So
Good.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Appreciate
we
it,
really
Jim.
wish you well.
Yeah, thank you.
This is Joey Carroll. He's the new head varsity football coach at Watertown High School. Friday Night Football will be here before you know it. Joey, good luck to you.
Thank you, Jim.